Together with the parents and the children, the elders, and the teachers, the students, that they would all come together in this building time and time again. And the parents and the elders wouldn't be afraid to come into the building because it's our school, it's the Indian school, and it's for our children, and they're there to help our children. Because a lot of our children need encouragement from their parents and their grandparents to keep going to school and to learn the kind of education that they need. And no matter how good the building looks, as long as the children are willing to learn and to understand their education for the future and plan a goal for themselves, that they're going to make it. They're not going to finish soon as they get to grade 8 at the Linnell School, that they're going to go on to grade 9 and graduate to 12. Maybe go on to Commotion College and some kind of institutional training they want for technical training or some kind of trade that they're interested in. That was my vision I had, that I want to see our children, more of our children graduate. And with this new school, we're trying to encourage them that they really need the education and that they can go beyond grade 8 and graduate.
I guess what I really like the school to be remembered for is the chief before me. He worked on it a long time before I did. Late Chief Norman Williams. When we were meeting in this, planning the school, some of our people couldn't get along with each other, and he spoke up, and he didn't get mad. He just advised them really nicely that if we're going to get this school done, we're going to have to forget about everything and work together as one.
I just have to go back to a little bit of history there to talk about what old Tommy Paul told the young people here. He said, one day you're going to have to understand that it's going to be what is offered to you, the schooling. It's not easy to tell somebody that you have to have a piece of paper to go and get a fish. So education is starting to become a must. The people who are having children now are some of the people that come from Cooper Island School. And if we want to continue to look at ourselves as the native people here, then many things have to be looked at very seriously. And one major thing, and that was the new school. To bring the children together, and where they will often see older people walk into the school and visit them.
As far back as I can remember in terms of education in SÁNEĆ is with the old school, the one-room school that we attended, and it was taught by initially by lay teachers, and there was grades 1 to 9 in the school, and that was the beginning of education as I understood it. And it was through a lot of struggle of many of our people that we began the process of working towards control of our own education. In later years, in the same school, the Sisters of the Immaculate Conception became the teachers. These were teachers that came up from California. And then a new school was realized just next to the old school. It was probably a 4 or 5 room school, and it was mainly run by the nuns, but it was the responsibility of running the school really rested with the Department of Indian Affairs, and they very seldom showed up and were absentee landlords. And because we were dissatisfied with the lack of involvement of Indian people, we formed the SÁNEĆ Indian School Board. And there were a number of people that played key roles. Marie Cooper made a contribution, Grand Chief Samuel Sam. And in more recent years, myself and the 4 elected band councils of the 4 bands which form our school board. In 1976, the original school that was built after we moved out of the one-room school burned down, and we were temporarily offered mobile units until a new school was built. And this is where the children stayed from 1976 until 1989. The federal government had no inkling to build a school because they felt Indian people were moving into the provincial schools, and by and large the baby boom was over for the non-Indian society, and there was a lot of buildings that were underused or were being closed down, and they didn't want us to build another school. So we had a very difficult time in lobbying the federal government to convince them that we needed this new school to build a sense of success for our children, because we could see that they weren't succeeding in the provincial schools to the degree that we would like them to succeed. So we began working with the board and our project team and the elders, and we eventually convinced the government that there was a need for a school. And we did this through studies and looking back at what had happened in the past 20 years, and we looked ahead and we looked at the present situation, and we presented to them and showed that we could do a better job running our own educational system. And so they gave us the money, and we told them that we didn't want anybody to build it. We wanted to build it ourselves with our own people, and we wanted to take over.